Just going to dive in for a few more concepts that I've elaborated with the research, all the details in my essays on the topics. Everything from True Love app, the beauty standard, diagnostics to spot evil, all those different essays. So there's many of them. Just search me. You'll find the essays. Close the pop-up. They're always free, never monetized. Same with these videos. This is a concept that people know and we've known for many, many decades, from couples counseling, relationship therapy, sexologists, all the rest. And the modern media narratives that are presented to you never seem to learn. So the men giving advice to other men and the women giving advice to other women never seemed to educate themselves on these basic facts about healthy relationships, healthy communication, healthy sensuality and sexuality. So I've gone through a number of other concepts, key concepts in these topics, in my earlier videos. The false choices on relationships, the you know a dating coach and a philosopher walk into a bar, key concepts for relationships. But here's another set of them that I've noticed repeatedly. This is something over and over again. There are a lot of men telling other men how to change their behavior so that they can manipulate and lure lots of women into sex. Like, that's just a step down from sexual assault. That's like halfway there at least. And it's important to understand that these men are counseling. They're even selling seminars, telling other men how to manipulate women. This has been going on for a while. Pickup artistry is the classic example. How to manipulate women to get sex out of them by being different from who you really are. And that's very different from what healthy relationships are about, where you're going to be your honest self without trying to make it look better than it really is. And someone who appreciates who you really are is going to want to be in a relationship with you. And that's not going to be everyone. It's not even going to be most people. You shouldn't be trying to get maximum number of people attracted to you. You just want to find the person who loves who you are for real. So I don't care how many women the percentages find me attractive. I'm just going to be with the person who actually appreciates who I really am. And these guys don't seem to understand, all the viewers of this manosphere content. They don't seem to understand that if they have to put on a false face to attract lots of women, now they have to keep that false face on forever, or they lose the attraction. Like, that sounds exhausting. That's a huge burden. Why would you want someone who only loves you when you're not being yourself? Because if they only love you when you're not being yourself, then you know they don't love who you really are. They love the fake version, the mask. And so that's happening a lot in the manosphere. It's most of their content is telling other men how to manipulate women to get the maximum percentage of women to give them sex. And you can check that is the exact same formula that women have been inculcated with through magazines for decades. How to seduce a man. How to get the maximum number of men to be attracted to your body and want to have sex with you. It's the same formula. They're doing the same exact thing. Be fake to get the maximum percentage of other people to want sex from you, instead of being your authentic self so that you can find a person who appreciates who you really are, which is rare. It's rare. You shouldn't pretend that everyone's going to like you. You're going to have to be fake to get everyone to like you. That's the only way to get everyone to like you, is fake. So that's one component, is where people are pretending that they will have a healthy, loving relationship by presenting a false face that attracts a large number of people into sex. That's not going to give you a healthy, loving relationship. You're not going to have a lasting relationship that way. You'll get a lot of sex, you'll have lots of flings, but that's only valuable to someone who is lacking in empathy, who doesn't relate to another human being as a whole soul. That's only valuable to someone who wants to pleasure their own skin at the expense of others. And why would you want to be with someone like that? Why would you want that kind of person in your life? So there's a contrasting view of healthy sensuality, sexuality, and relationships, where you're first supposed to get used to the sensation of your own body. Sensuality is just enjoying the feeling of your own body. The warmth of the sun in your skin, the taste of ripe strawberries, the things that your body enjoys. You have to get very clear, very viscerally clear about what it is that you actually enjoy before being intimate physically with anyone. That's a requirement. Because if you're not clear about what your body enjoys prior to being physically intimate with anyone, then what ends up happening is you try to imitate the media or you try to appease your partner. You're doing what the guy wanted because you're just going along with it to see if it's what you like. That's the wrong time to find out. So you're supposed to get very clear about what you actually like before being intimate with anyone, first off. And then, this is the part that relationship counselors and couples counselors, sex therapists are going to tell you, you have to have enough courage and authenticity to say what you want on your own. If you don't say what you want, no one should ever give it to you. If you're insisting that someone else read your mind, then you are foundationally too immature to be in a relationship. You're behaving like a toddler, so you're not old enough to have sex yet. You're not old enough, you're not mature enough to be sexual with anyone because you expect them to read your mind. And if you're just filtering by who fits your fantasy, well, that's fundamentally objectifying your partner. You're objectifying them, waiting for someone to already be your fantasy. And that's not a healthy way to relate to another human soul. So I see that because I'm looking at all the different people on both sides of this horrible dating relationship conversation in the media. I see that happen most often amongst women advising other women, where they say to just sleep with a guy and see if he just magically, accidentally fulfills your fantasies that you never communicate. When we know for a fact that is the wrong way to approach kink and sexuality. We know for a fact. So those women advising other women and getting millions of clicks are saying exactly the wrong answer. And they're training other women to demand that a human soul be a mind reader when they're never reading the other person's mind. She never reads his mind, but expects him to read her mind. So if you don't have a clear view of your own sensuality and you don't communicate it honestly, you don't deserve to have it fulfilled. You don't deserve to get what you want when you won't say what it is. And you're never going to have a healthy relationship. And it's your fault.